Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Beth Rodgers, who's the co-owner and agent with Trailstone Insurance Group. Beth, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Hey, looking forward to chatting with you today and learning about what you guys do over at Trailstone. Give us a little bit of your background and then what led you into the insurance industry.
Yeah, well, thank you. So I am married to my husband, Mark, who actually started Trailstone Insurance back in 2011. Well, he got into the insurance industry then. And back then I was working for Oracle. I was a sales consultant telling people how to analyze data and teaching them how to make pretty charts and graphs, with huge companies. We'd sell $1 million software packages and all I had to do was the pretty demonstrations, which was really fun. And getting started in insurance is not necessarily easy. So I was working for a solid company while Mark was learning the insurance industry and the ins and outs of it. And, Mark always says, getting started in this industry, you are actually stacking nickels, because you don't make hardly anything when you sell a life insurance, a home and auto policy. So anyway, he did that for a couple years and then he's like, well, do you want to come help? I'm like, sure, but not yet. We need to be earning some more money before I quit my job. So probably, after he proved that, it is fun to, help people understand what insurance is and save them money at the same time. I started out, I remember I was quoting for him. So he would, say he would, find a customer who was interested in insurance and give me all the details. And I would get started in, using the systems that we have, figuring out how to do the quotes. And then, here's the best one, so I got to see at that early stage, how it was fun to help our clients. So I eventually did quit Oracle, which was interesting. When I quit Oracle, they're like, are you sure? I'm like, well, no, I'm not.
But thanks for asking.
I'm not sure. But so can you just give me, they actually put me on the leave of absence. They didn't want me to go. Yeah, they didn't want me to go. And so I'm like, let me check it out. And 6 months down the road, if I want to come back, then, I will. So they said, fine. So that's what I did. But after 6 months, I'm like, absolutely not. I am not coming back because I really, really love what I was doing. So, the benefits of, working in this industry, well, especially what we do at Trailstone is that I get to work from home. And I did get to work from home previously, but it was high stress.
Yeah.
I mean, I was having to keep up with all the technology. Things change so quickly in software. So, I got tired of learning all of that. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, competing with the 25-year-olds. It was just getting harder.
And corporate bureaucracy and deadlines and meetings that could have been done with an email. And it's
yes.
And you could then experience along with your husband who launched the agency, the entrepreneurial feeling of freedom, flexibility, and giving and serving to people. So let me ask you a question about your time at Oracle. You weren't in sales then. You were kind of doing presentations and working with data, right? It wasn't really a sales position.
Well, it was. It was called pre-sales. So I didn't have quota, but I worked directly with sales reps and I could screw up a sale.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to close it. I just had to explain, and that's really where, what we do here at Trailstone, the heart of a teacher.
Yes.
I was a teacher, basically, in that role. I was teaching them how to use the software and why it was so good. And so that's really what we do here at Trailstone is we teach people what is insurance and why do you want this coverage and what happens if you don't have it. And that's really the hard part. People like to think, oh, nothing ever happens to me.
Yep.
Well, nothing ever happens to you until it does.
Yep. Well, it's interesting you say that because as you were explaining your time at Oracle, this thought came to my mind. Well, that is quite the juxtaposition between a corporate job and selling insurance, as people would say, right? Because that's as an agent, as a salesperson, that's what you're supposed to do is sell people into insurance. But that is exactly what you're not doing because you probably don't feel like you're a salesperson because you are a teacher and you said the words, I help people understand. Well, hold on. Helping people understand their options ain't selling and pushing and closing. That's a whole different ballgame. That's like almost putting your hand over data and just saying, just sign here. It's okay. Beth is explaining and teaching and helping people understand. And when they understand, they make the buying decision that's right for them.
Right. And that's, I was, when I talk to other people about, getting into the business, I don't think it's sales. I said, like, really, it is just, you have to learn the industry. You have to learn what the different coverages are for home insurance, for auto insurance. But then honestly, I mean, it is absolutely not a hard sell. After I give my customers the best quote for them, then I say, if you would like to send me your current declarations, your current insurance coverages, I will do a side-by-side comparison. And I'll let you know if we're saving you money and providing you the same or better coverage, great. If not, stay where you are. Okay, I am not going to try and get, but most of the time it's like, it's a no-brainer. Do you want to save $500 a year? I saved a guy just the other day, $4,000 a year. Okay, that was a no-brainer. He's like, how quickly can I move? Right. And that's the thing, that's what saving. I always say when I do that, I'm like, well, congratulations on your raise, because that is a huge raise. Even saving $500, a year is about $50 a month, $40 a month. That's a lot for some people these days.
Well, and if you really relate it to a raise at work from income, it's actually people need to think of it like this. Let's use that $4,000 a year number. It's not a $4,000 a year raise. It really is probably, it's probably like $5,800 of a raise because they're going to tax you and you're going to get that $4,000. Well, you handed some, like Ben Franklin said, a penny saved is a penny earned. Well, $4,000 saved is really $5,800-ish earned. So even $500 a year, like you said, that's a chunk of change. That's like someone coming and handing you, money, cash money after tax. And it's even better because it's not even reported. It's just money that's not leaving your pocket. So that is quantifiable. But here's something else that I'm hearing from you. And you didn't say the R word, but it sounds like you are pretty focused on developing relationships. Yeah.
And so that is part of the teaching part, right?
Yeah.
If you're just out for the hard sell, you really don't care about the person. But no, most of the people that I work with are referrals that come from my current customers, and they've worked with me over the last years. And then they're like, no, you have to use my agent. She's great, And so, yes, we're great because we save money, but also because we're here to walk alongside you when something happens. And that's the important. I had this guy who his home burned down.
Oh, wow.
And so that's when you want to be sure that you have him covered properly. Right. And so, there are a lot of, I've had this conversation with many of my customers. Not all agents are scrupulous. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just can't trust everybody. So a lot of times that, you get these flyers in the mail, right? Look, for my house, I could get insurance from, whatever this company is for $400 a year. Well, no, those are just scams to get you to call in. Yeah. And then, you have to have all your ducks perfectly lined up in a row and, actually not live in Colorado, but live somewhere, that doesn't have hail and fires and floods like we do. So
it's like I came out of the mortgage industry years and years ago, and you'd see all these TV, radio, whatever, rates as low as, and then you read the fine print and it's like, oh, if your house is worth $1 million and you owe 100,000 and you have, it's like, come on. Right. So you need someone that, has and I've heard this said so many times, I use it over and over, the KLT factor, the know, like, and trust. They got to know you a little bit. They got to like you. And then they got to trust you. And that's what you're talking about with building those relationships and teaching and educating. And then when you're making that recommendation, that person is feeling like, okay, I'm not just a number on a piece of paper. They explain this nuance and that nuance and this thing, and they help me make the decision, because people don't want to feel pushed or sold. They want to understand the process enough to go, okay, that makes sense. Let's do it this way right over here. That's important.
Yeah, and like that guy whose house burned down, that most of the time for most people, the house is where their savings is.
Yes.
That's their retirement. So if it burns down and they're not insured properly, that is a problem.
Yep.
Okay. There's I forget what company it is that has that commercial on TV that says, are you insured properly, or are you sitting out in the backyard around a fire because you can't afford to rebuild your home, because it burned down and you weren't covered properly. So yeah, it's scary. So yeah, no, I tell my customers, I said, look, I insure you as I would want to be insured if I were in that house, if I were in your position. So I'm not just trying to give you the cheapest coverage. In fact, if people want to do things that are not according to code, I'm going to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't help you.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about something that I feel is a really big, maybe distinguishing factor or competitive advantage, however we want to think of it as. But there's a lot of these insurance companies and rates and these coverages you hear about, and they're captured or they work for XYZ company, but you guys are independent. So talk about some of the differences or benefits that someone gets by working with an independent agency.
Right. So there are some carriers like you've probably heard of Farmers, State Farm, American Family.
I've not heard of any of those. Are those in the industry at all?
So those are what we call captive carriers. And so that means that when you have insurance from them, they're just going to, when your insurance renews on an annual basis and your premium increases, which is only going up these days, they have nowhere else to put you.
Yep.
But an independent agency like Trailstone, in fact, we are the fastest growing agency in Colorado.
Wow.
And why? Because we have the most carriers to choose from. We've really worked hard to build our business and to have options for our clients so that every year when your premium renews, we automatically reshop your home and or auto insurance to see if we can save you money by moving to one of our other carriers. You don't have to bug us. 90 days before your renewal, we'll send you an email saying, hey, here's a survey. Please answer these questions and let us know what things have changed in your life over the last 9 months. And don't forget, we're going to be reshopping you here in about a month and a half. And then so our customers, probably about 2 to 3 weeks before the renewal are going to get some kind of email from us, either saying, we shopped you and you are best to stay where you are right now. Or we shopped you and said, hey, here's a decision for you to make. We don't force them to move,
Yep.
But if you would like to save $700 a year, we can do that by, changing this or this. So that is something, and I've heard it from many of my clients. Like, I used to be with this other agency, but they didn't shop me. And then I call him and then, I said, why didn't you shop me? He's like, you didn't ask me to. So we don't do that to our clients. We treat you as we would want to be treated. So I would like my agent to shop me every year, which I do myself. I do shop myself as well annually. So I also shop my clients. And so that's our review.
And is that something that, to me, independent, that whole benefit is massive. because I know that, you hear about, as a financial planner, you hear the horror stories of, well, people can only sell this product because it's what they've been told to sell and that's all they can sell. So they're going to fit a square peg in a round hole. Well,
Right.
that's the example you were giving. But as an independent, it doesn't matter. I'm going to pick this and go to that and do it here and whatever is best for the client. So when you say automatically, let's clarify that just a little, because I'm all great with getting an email that goes out 9 months after you set up a policy, 3 months before it renews. That can be set up on automation. But what about your internal operations and systems makes the agent then go, okay, this is my list of clients that renews this month. Now I need to run the query or do the search and make sure that how does that work? Because to me, that is, again, another gold star next to your name when you are an agent that takes that kind of care for a client.
Right. And that is so at Trailstone, we have a whole renewal department. We have specialists who do nothing more than work on our renewals. So they are on top of the whole process. They've got it nailed down. They know exactly what to do. And that's the thing that a lot of other agencies just aren't equipped to handle. They try to emulate what we do, but they don't have the renewal department. And also they don't have the technology that we have at Trailstone. It's funny, I came from Oracle and, very technology. I've been in technology all my life. And then I came to the insurance industry and, my husband, who did not come from technology, really built the Trailstone around technology. Nice. And so he's done stuff that, a lot of other agencies are trying to emulate, but, we tried some stuff, it didn't work. We tried another thing and it worked and we kept that, we just keep building and trying. And so we believe that we've got, really the systems that other agencies, it's going to take them a long time to try to get there. So our systems, along with the people, work together to give our customers really the best options that there are out there. I have a lot of customers that still, on top of me shopping, are also shopping. Yeah. They're just trying to make sure that I'm doing it right. And then they go, okay, Beth, I've been testing you, but you are giving us the best options. So that's very reassuring.
That's so much. That sounds like it's so rewarding when you hear that, to go, but it's not just lip service. We're not just saying this to sound all cool and fancy. We are doing it. We've got a whole department behind us doing the renewals. And, oh, by the way, when someone kind of challenges us and goes, well, I've shopped myself around it. Oh, by the way, yeah, you're right. Or you beat the best thing that I could even find. So, wow, yay, thank you. That's huge. I love that approach. You're not just saying, yeah, we'll shop you. You went ahead and created a whole department around that brand promise.
Right.
That's huge. Well, I think we could probably talk for on and on and on about nuances of this and that and the other, and that's wonderful. And I want to learn more about what you guys do. But for now, let's just wrap up with, if someone is listening to this going, you know what? My agent kind of sends me the form letters and an email, and I wonder if that last email I got where my rates are going up, I wonder if I could do a little bit better. What's the best way that someone could reach out to Beth and see what you guys could do for them?
Yeah, well, I have a direct text and a direct phone, same number, 720-504-0185. You can also email me at beth@trailstoneinsurance.com.
Awesome. Well, Beth, thanks so much for coming on today. It was really a pleasure talking with you.
Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.